Joining us now is a performer who you'll see here in St. Louis soon on Sunday, January 27th at the Steeple Theater. Darci Lynne Farmer, thank you so much for coming on to KMOX.
Thanks for having me.
Wow, what an incredible run for you. Everything that's been so great. I've watched a lot of your videos online, very popular, and I wanted to ask you your very first audition when you were going on stage, getting ready to go. Were you more nervous then, or were you more nervous on the finals right before they were announcing you as the winner?
Oh gosh. It's really hard because both times I almost puked.
It's a lot of pressure. So you're standing on the stage, America's Got Talent. I can't imagine the preparations you go through in your mind just to get to the point where you have enough nerves to stand on there and do your audition, let alone the great... everyone loved you during the audition, but then you get all the way to the finals and you're standing there waiting to hear if you won or not. You're on stage, and I thought, man, I wonder what would be more nerve-wracking. I think almost would be equal.
I think both are the same amount for me, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Walking onto that stage for the very first time it's overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people in the audience, and that was probably my very first time. That was probably the biggest audience I had ever performed in front of. So then waiting to hear if you win or not is just out of this world.
What were some of those audiences you performed in front of before America's Got Talent? I mean, were you going to and performing in public before that?
Yeah, I have been a couple times. I think the biggest crowd I had performed in front of was about 600 people.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was pretty big for me. And then AGT came, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's big for anyone. You get on stage and you're able to do your routine. Is that something you crafted just for that show, or is that something you've tried in the past?
No, I had never sang that song before.
Oh.
I was actually going to sing a different song, and then 1 week before I left, we changed it to Summertime. So it was pretty stressful, but it turned out great.
Yeah. What's the question you hate getting? Because you're doing a lot of interviews over the past year. Is there anything that you just dread someone brings up and asks you?
There's quite a few questions that I'm repeatedly asked. I'm not sure because there's a lot.
Yeah. What I try to do when I do an interview, I think, well, I don't want to ask them the same things everyone's already asked them because it's got to get. You don't want to be too repetitive, but at the same time, I got to imagine you going back to school and you're getting the same type of reactions and the same sort of questions all over again. What was it like immediately after winning America's Got Talent? How hard was it to get back to what life was like before the show started and the routine you're in?
It was really weird. So right after I won, the next day I had like several different talk shows. Like I went on Ellen, and I went and talked to Mario Lopez, just a whole bunch, Access Hollywood, all of them. And that was an insane day, super fun, but definitely overwhelming. And then I went back home to all my friends and school, which was crazy, and then I got to do the Vegas show, which was so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a bunch of stuff that I got to do right after, which was crazy, but it was really fun.
Who was nicer, Ellen or Mario Lopez?
I can't decide. They're both really nice.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. What was that? Was that weird being just like chaperoned to all these different places, doing all these interviews in one day? It's like just everything's rush. You got to be out the door. You got to be prepared, and it's got to be a whirlwind after something like that.
This is really weird.
Yeah.
I was just like, stepping into this new life, literally just abruptly, and just like kind of pushed into it, and not pushed, but
Yeah.
Just so many different things now. My life's way different now. So.
Yeah. So you win season 12 of America's Got Talent, and you're going around, you're doing these interviews, you're setting up, what's going to happen next because you're able to use all of the popularity and the love that people gave you for that time frame, and everyone wants to take some time with you. They're talking about performances, and I think everyone has talked to you about how this has changed your life. How has this changed your parents' life?
Oh, yeah, definitely it changed my parents' lives too. Eventually after winning, probably about, I don't know how long, but eventually, my parents both quit their jobs and went full-time Darci Lynne. And now we're kind of like a family business. We all pitch in, and I've been touring, and it's been awesome. But their lives have definitely changed too, and they've put in a lot of work for me. I'm very appreciative of them and just changing their whole thing for me.
So before, when you were performing in front of people, you're doing it and you had a lot of love for what you were doing, and there was some experimentation to see what would work, what wouldn't work. And now your parents are looking at this as like a business, and they're trying to make sure everything's set up for you. Just based on your love and enjoyment of doing things, has anything changed there, or does it still feel the same as before you were famous?
Oh, no, it still feels the same. I still enjoy what I do. Every time I perform, I still get really excited about doing it, and it's still all fun for me.
Yeah. Have you ever thought of any people you'd love to perform with?
Oh my goodness. I would love to perform. Yeah, there's so many people I can't choose. I love Shawn Mendes's music, and I love Ariana Grande's music.
Yeah.
So I'd love to do something with them, or ventriloquism-wise. It'd be cool to do. I've already done some stuff with Terry Fader and Jeff Dunham, but it'd be cool to do something again.
Yeah. And you had Christmas specials, too, where there were some performances and you get to meet some new people. I don't even know how that sort of thing works. When you start doing some of these Christmas specials, which we just saw here a few weeks ago that were broadcasted, I think they were on NBC, wasn't it? So you get some really popular performers up there, and, you're the one that's putting all of this together, and you're the center of the attention for something like this. Does it ever get weird being the center of attention, or have you gotten used to it?
It's still at some point, it's still uncertain times. It's a little still weird for me.
Yeah.
But I'm getting used to this lifestyle, day by day, taking it slow.
It's got to be hard. I mean, there's a lot of times you hear about people and celebrities that have had instant fame and how that's been difficult for them, but it sounds like you have a lot of great support in your family structure that's been able to keep you going and keep you on track for something like that, which is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Darci Lynne Farmer, you may remember her from Season 12's America's Got Talent. At the age of 12, became the youngest contestant to win in her ventriloquism act. She's going to be at the Stiefel Theater this Sunday, January 27th. It's a 7 o'clock show. Tickets are on sale now. You can go check it out, you and the family. We're going to continue our conversation with Darci Lynne next on Overnight America, KMOX.
Making the darkness of night a little brighter. It's Ryan Wrecker and Overnight America on KMOX.
Welcome back to Overnight America. I can only imagine at the age of 12 what it would be like to perform on national television, and Darci Lynne was on America's Got Talent. Not only did she get through, she also won the thing. And now she's performing this weekend at the Stiefel Theater, Sunday, 7 o'clock. Ticketmaster.com if you want to check out Darci Lynne live, her and her family. Did you ever have conversations before you auditioned for America's Got Talent? This is what I would do if I ever became famous. Do you ever have thoughts like that, what you would do?
I never really thought about it because I never would have imagined myself being famous. I was going into AGT with a mindset of, okay, Darci, you're just going to get some criticism from the judges. They're going to, tell you what to fix, and then you're going to go home and do awesome. Never expected the golden buzzer at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so never really got to think about that, what would I do? I mean, probably I did think about it, but It was probably something like big and huge, like live in Malibu or something.
Malibu? Yeah, so you're from Oklahoma City. Is that where you grew up?
Yes.
Yeah, so Malibu, that's where everything's at. Well, you got some, of course you have some dreams and you're able to live these sort of dreams out, but I got to imagine you have more dreams for your life. What are the things you want to accomplish now?
I would love to record some songs of my own and, maybe act some in a movie or something. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my goal right now, and still be touring and maybe even tour out of the country. So.
Wow. Have you ever traveled outside of the country before?
Yeah, I've been to the Bahamas and I've been to Europe, but that's it so far.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised. It seems like most people that go and audition for a show like America's Got Talent, they always say to themselves, oh, if I make it big, the first thing I'm going to do is go and buy a Lamborghini or, yeah, something like that. I read in an article somewhere, one of the first things you guys did you remodel a kitchen? Is that true?
Yeah, well, kind of. So whenever I was on ADT, I kept saying I wanted to get my mom a dishwasher, and that's what I did. I ended up getting my mom a dishwasher, and I also said I wanted a puppy, and that happened this Christmas.
Aw.
So after like a year and a half of begging, finally got a puppy.
What's your puppy's name?
His name's Binks.
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 Good pup?
Mm-hmm.
Very
Super
good.
cute. Really good personality. And then I also said I'd donate to my church, and I did do that too.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So season 12, America's Got Talent, you walk out on stage for the first time. Were you afraid of Simon Cowell, or did you look at him and think, there's no way he'll be hard on me?
Oh, no. I was terrified. He's super intimidating. I know I've seen the videos of, him being Simon. And,
Yeah.
But he was awesome. He's definitely been a mentor for me. He spends a lot for me. So he's really great.
Oh, that's awesome. You talk about the mentor side. I'm assuming him and, of course, your parents have been very encouraging. Has anyone given you some advice along the way that's really helped you, become the person you are?
Definitely. AGT and the judges, everyone there influenced the way I am today. They were so kind to me when I was there, and I made so many friends, and not only with the contestants, but with producers and, staff and crew that worked on the stage and moved all the set pieces. There's just a whole bunch of people that I made friends with, and definitely changed, and made me who I am. So.
Yeah. When after a performance or after a show, there's always a lot of people that talk about it on social media and Twitter. Were you looking at that, or were you afraid to?
I don't really take interest in reading comments too much. My mom, on the other hand, loves to read the comments. Good and bad, but I don't read the comments that much. Only if I want to, I'll sneak on there and read some of them, but I don't really like to read them.
Yeah.
Of course, I love, positive comments, and it's so great to read those.
Yeah.
But, I'm really fortunate because there's only a few, negative comments that I get only so often. And, I don't let them bother me. It just really doesn't.
Aw.
And, I love social media, though. It's really awesome.
Oh, good. So Stiefel Theater, you'll be performing there here in St. Louis on Sunday, January 27th. So if someone wanted to come check out the show, what can they expect?
They can expect a really, really fun show. It's a great show to bring your whole family and have a good time and, not worry about anything. Just relax and, laugh and sing and dance, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Have a great time.
That Stiefel Theater is a beautiful theater. You'll have a great time while you're here in St. Louis. So,
I'm excited.
Oh, it should be awesome. I was wondering, too, some of your characters, like your bunny, for example, who designed those?
Oh, there's a lot of different people. There actually are professional puppet makers. Online they got websites and things. And Petunia came from Puppet Planet.
Mm-hmm.
My Oscar the mouse that I have, he came from Matt Puppet. So did my cowgirl. And then Edna came from Jet Puppet. So they all came from different places.
So when you fly, do they get their own seat?
No, they hitch a ride in the overhead bin.
I gotcha. I'll see sometimes when you have some of these really famous performers, they'll go to Carnegie Hall and they'll get a special seat for their cello because obviously you can't check $1 million instrument or something like that. So I guess they get the overhead bin treatment, which is probably fine. What is traveling like? Do people recognize you, or is there people that are coming up to you in airports and places like that?
Yeah, definitely. I just got recognized the other day in an airport. Sweet little boy come up to me, ask for pictures. Really awesome. It's really fun when people come up to me because they say, we watch your YouTube videos and we voted for you, and it's really nice to hear that. And I love meeting new people, so it's awesome.
Yeah. It's not always an easy thing for anyone to find a way to handle and deal with this sort of thing. But I got to say, I'm incredibly impressed with the way that you've conducted and handled yourself and just the way we're talking during this interview. I think it's difficult when people brush up with fame. You never know how they're going to react to it because some people buckle under the pressure. I think this is just a great testament of how great your family is and how supportive everyone is. Man, what a great, encouraging story. So do they travel with you on all these dates that you have on tour?
Yeah, most of my family does. My older brother, Nick, he's in college, so he can't come with us most of the time. But my brother, Dalton, and my brother, Nate, they come with us. And my brother, Dalton's in charge of my merch. He handles
cool.
all that. So, and my parents, they do a lot in the show. My dad has been helping out by taking my audience photo, and then my mom runs my music. So we're all kind of a big team.
Like a Partridge Family. I'm sure that has come. Well, you said your older brother Nick's in college. Does he brag about you to his friends in college?
Oh, definitely. Nick is like my number one supporter.
Oh.
I can do no wrong with Nick. Like, he loves me so much. He's a great brother.
Well, only one other question for you. What do you want people to know about you that they don't know about you right now?
Like anything?
Anything.
I don't think many people know this about me, but I love reading.
Great. Who are some of your favorite authors?
Oh, goodness. I really like Jenny Han. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, what type of books do you read?
I love rom-coms, and I love action books.
Wow.
Mysteries. Really anything. And realistic fiction.
Realistic fiction. So that's like something that's based on a historical event, but it's fiction?
Well, no, that's historical fiction.
Yeah.
Realistic fiction is like something that, could happen, but it really didn't happen.
Oh,
it's not a fairy tale or a fantasy. But
so it's like an alternative storyline of something that could have happened.
Yeah, like it's a story.
Oh.
In real life, but it didn't really happen.
Well, I guess when you're on tour or on the road, you have some opportunities to read when you have downtime. That's probably a great way to spend some time there. Oh, that's great. Yeah, we have a great library system. It's something that's worth encouraging. Just anyone that listens that doesn't use their local library should start doing it. There's so many great things you can get from it. Darci Lynne Farmer, you were the winner of America's Got Talent Season 12. You're going to be here in St. Louis on Sunday, January 27th. Ticketmaster.com is where you can find some of the information to purchase the tickets. You said bring the whole family out. It's a family show. Have some fun with it, right?
Yes.
Anything you're going to do in St. Louis, or are you off right after that and you got to get back home for school that week?
Yeah, I got to get back home.
Right back to the grind. That's a pretty exciting life. You get to do all of these things on the weekend and you're back to trying to make things normal again. Darci Lynne, thank you so much for joining us here on KMOX. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you. It was nice talking to you, too.
And she joins us on the Quiver River Electric Guest Line. I am so impressed with her. How about that? That sounds like a fun show. It does. It's a Sunday night show. You know why they do only weekend shows? Because she's got to go to school Monday morning. They fly back to Oklahoma City and she's got to go to class.